Okay.
I made it, and we're
You made it.
starting. We are live.
All right, great. We're live. Welcome back to Doctors
Hello.
and Dragons, everybody.
Yeah.
And by everybody, I mean Kyle, and also the other Kyle, because
Now,
I told another person whose name is also Kyle about our podcast. So we've got
now,
lots of Kyles.
what I've
Um,
got to explain to everyone is that.
Now hang on. I'm not done with the intro yet, Bryce.
No, okay, fine. Damn.
God, you've ruined the beginning of this podcast. This is season 1, Bad Ghost. Episode 5, Cripples, Aliens, Bastards, London, Broken Things, and World War III. I am Ryan, and I am joined today by Bryce, who cannot resist interrupting me. Bryce?
What I would like to describe is events that transpired last week when trying to find this video to upload to the channel. The reason why it was delayed is because I thought instead of recording it, I pressed the stream button. Now what that means is that I thought it was gone forever until I remembered I linked my stream to my YouTube channel, my personal one, so the whole file was saved on my YouTube channel as a stream, luckily. So I had to archive that by downloading that video illegally from my own channel and uploading it. Because I'm a smart person.
Well done, Bryce. You saved the podcast.
By almost ruining it. I'm amazing.
Yes. I mean, you made a mistake and you just barely bailed yourself out.
Yes.
Brilliant, really. So, Bryce, we're not alone today. We are joined by our good friend William. William, what's going on with you?
Nothing much.
Nothing much.
Same old.
Why?
Well, William, the last time we heard from you, you were in Syria still, and your relationship with your captors you classified as evolving. So
Yes.
can you give us an update on that situation?
Bit complicated. I was upset with my reimbursement situation, so I decided to form a union of the slaves. Now we're trying to collectively bargain. It's not going well.
Okay, so you were unhappy with your compensation in that you were not getting paid because you were slaves.
Don't use the S word, Ryan, but yes.
Sorry. Yeah, my mistake. So you formed a union with the others.
No, there are no others. It's just me.
Oh, it's just you. You're a union of one.
Yeah. Together, okay. We're strong.
All right. Well, that's.
And they took away my internet privileges, so I only got to watch half of the Doctor Who episode.
I see. So you only saw. Did you see the first half?
Yeah, I saw the first half, and then they teased me with random images of the second one.
I see. So during our discussion of World War III, the second half of this two-parter, you may be less than helpful.
How dare you insult?
Oh man!
Such a high-ranking.
Are you looking down on me? Do you think I'm worse than you because you get paid for your job?
Well, economically, I would say I am superior in that respect.
Ouch! Wow. I don't know if this podcast can continue with this tension.
Well, it's okay.
I don't know if I
can
come
just
back.
A guest. We'll never hear from him again. So, all right. So, do you guys want to get into Doctor Who now?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
All right. So let's get into the Aliens of London and World War III, our first two-parter. Now, William, you only saw half of it, so I won't ask you. But Bryce, what are your thoughts overall on this episode?
I don't know. This podcast can continue with this tension. Well, it's okay because
overall in this episode?
overall, the episode was so. It's like you're not gonna like this comparison, but it's like me watching The Room or any other bad movie that's so bad it's good.
Okay.
It was just so over the top, and like the show never takes itself seriously, which makes me feel like there's a disconnect. I feel because I love like taking shows like and kind of just running with them being incredibly like down to earth, serious, and having a lot more purpose than a Doctor Who, which I didn't expect there to be this really serious tone. But I don't know. It's not tickling the fancy in the way I wish it did.
So, in other words, this was not a good episode
For me.
for anybody.
Oh. You didn't enjoy it.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but I acknowledge that it's bad, and I enjoyed it mainly because it was so bad that it was comedically bad.
Oh, okay, so you're okay. Yeah.
So I'm kind of in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
It's so bad that at a certain point it's just funny, and that kind of makes it
So
good.
what you're telling me is the show isn't normally like this?
I would say no, it's not normally like.
Isn't the next episode Dalek?
It is, and I am so ready to be done with this podcast and move on to that episode.
All right, and that ends our podcast for today.
Yep, that ends our discussion of this episode. However, we can't just end it here, because this is the best episode of our podcast we're ever going to have, because it has the most amazing title. And we're never going to get this again.
So
like it's all downhill from here.
Once in a lifetime. As the water hold me down. Copyright
great song.
music. All right. So
let's get into this, I guess.
Yes.
The discussion.
So
Step by
Rose
step breakdown.
and the Doctor come back. Present day, or what seems like present day, but only 12 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's
Have
12 hours
passed.
later. So
And then, Rose is running up, gonna say hi to her mom, saying she said stay the night out. And then the Doctor notices something a little strange. There's a bunch of missing posters for Rose.
Yep.
Turns out, it's been 12 years. Her mom's kind of freaked the shit out.
It hasn't been 12 years. It's been 12 months. It's
Same
been 1
thing.
year.
Who cares? Yeah, same thing. That's what I meant to say.
Different, but the same.
There's no difference.
So yeah, this, and I talked about this very briefly last week, that this sort of thing happens a lot on this show, where they land in a particular time and place, and then they find out that nope, they're somewhere else. And
They're either they're in a different time or a different place.
Or both.
Or both.
Sometimes
yes.
it's both.
Yes. It like in last episode.
In last episode, it was both. In this episode, they were in the right place, just the wrong time.
Yes, because the TARDIS is a little wonky. It's kind of breaking down.
And you are apparently fine with that explanation. I know that the first time I watched the show, I was not okay with that, but
I mean,
that's okay.
it described that the TARDIS already has a broken chameleon circuit. So
yeah.
I'm kind of just like, okay.
Which, by the way,
and he's also
I don't know.
900 years old, so it makes sense that his spaceship needs some sort of repair.
I know you mentioned the chameleon circuit just now,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it occurred to you that that's where the band gets its name. But
Well, no shit. Yes,
okay. Okay.
No,
good.
I thought the show got it from the band.
Right. Okay, so moving on. So there's a little kid who is graffitiing the side of the TARDIS. Kind of hard to miss this. And what did he write on the side of the TARDIS in spray paint, you guys?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Your mom gay.
Yeah, I think he wrote your mom gay.
No, guys, he wrote Bad Wolf, obviously.
Oh wait, did he also write Bad Wolf? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the other side of the TARDIS that we couldn't see in that camera shot, he wrote your mom gay.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
All right.
yeah.
According to plan.
Um so yeah, he wrote Bad Wolf on the side of the TARDIS. What do you think it means?
So this random ass.
So there's this
street wretch
stripper.
knows to write that.
I feel as though that kid, Bad Wolf. I don't know. Like it's just a name. We don't know what it means. Maybe he's being tracked. He's probably being followed. Subliminal messaging, foreshadowing that might connect in the end. And if it connects at the end of the season, holy shit, that would be really exciting.
Did you get really far away from your mic just now?
No.
Huh.
But I honestly, like, stuff like this.
Okay, never mind. I accidentally turned the volume down. That's why. We are professionals.
The most professional. I think you're gonna enjoy this episode's screen save more so than the other ones, especially
great.
William. I feel.
Oh, you're not using the picture. Oh no. Well, our listeners can already see it, so they know what it is, and I'm afraid to find out what it is.
No, don't worry. I'm still using the picture. It's just been contorted with.
Okay.
But yeah.
So let's continue talking Doctor Who.
Yeah, we should. We need to yeah.
Because this is a long 2-part episode, so we got to power through it.
So we might need to chug.
So, Rose gets home. There's the whole her mom's upset and blah blah blah, and then a spaceship crashes into Big Ben and destroys it.
Yep.
And
everything's normal. And then people go to shit.
Yeah.
Everyone's
spaceship crashed into the Thames, and they can't get over there, of course. And the Doctor says, "Well, I don't want to fly the TARDIS over there." And he's saying, "Because I don't want there to be another spaceship in the middle of things." But really, it's for plot
like
reasons.
A liar, because he's gonna go over there anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
And then
so they're watching it on TV.
Yes.
And there's this kid gets a hold of the remote and starts flipping channels, and there's a channel where
they're baking a
it's
cake.
a cooking show, and they're making spaceship cake. What the hell is this? What is this show?
Not that good. This season sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
so far, it really does.
It's been 5 episodes, and they've all been like subpar.
Well, I will defend the Unquiet Dead until the day that I die and then get possessed by a Gelf. But
will you be possessed by a Gelf, or will your body be possessed by a Gelf? Because I think you would have passed on to a different life.
I believe once you're dead, you're dead. But anyway, so the alien got brought to a local hospital. The alien, in air quotes, that they found inside this spaceship that crashed in the Thames.
Turned out, as the Doctor looked at it, was to just be a pig.
We find out that the Prime Minister has been missing this whole time. So that's interesting.
The Prime Minister's gone, and that immediately, second I heard that, I was like, oh, so he's dead.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously.
Everyone thinks not only is he dead, that there is an ulterior motive to this, and that there are aliens in the government. There aren't any surprises in this episode. It felt like they tried. Like they tried, and it was not executed with any form of confidence, so it just...
Nope. It was bad. It was very brutal.
I felt really bad for the pig.
Yeah, I felt bad for the pig
They
too.
just
so
fucking
sad.
shot. Why would they shoot
We're not
a
there
pig?
yet, though. We're not there yet because the doctor hasn't gone there yet. First, we meet Harriet Jones, MP Flydale North. And what did you guys think of Harriet Jones?
I feel as though she's gonna come back in later episodes
She will be back. We'll see her again.
because she's gonna become prime minister, and since she'll know the doctor, she'll be a useful asset.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Solid prediction.
I thought it was
What
weird that
I'm
she was
sad
like,
the Indian boy died.
rip Indian boy.
William was in the middle of a sentence and you interrupted him.
Well, the Indian
That's
boy
so
mate is
cute.
more important than some slave.
That's a good point. Hey,
Bryce,
we're both slaves. It's just not implied.
just because he's a slave doesn't mean he doesn't have rights. Well, it does,
Servant.
but okay, William, what were you about to say about Harriet Jones before that rude interruption?
Yeah, from Ryan.
She a nasty lady.
She's nasty.
Okay, that
Yeah.
wasn't worth it.
No,
That remark.
I don't know if I like her introduction where she's just like, her initial reasoning was that she really wanted to do something completely random, and like she's getting in the way in the middle of this crisis, so I'm annoyed at her.
yeah,
It
it's
worked
like,
out, but it's like not realistic, but they have a point that this like isn't the time. Just because they're alien doesn't mean that they're wrong.
Oh yeah.
aliens' lives
mean,
matter.
Harriet Jones is being ridiculous in this episode. Like nobody that is no real person, no
She's
sane
an alien.
person would act the way that she acts early on in this
Yes,
episode.
I did not like her introduction. Nikki, on the
do you
other
like,
hand.
speaking of introductions, do you like how she keeps introducing herself to everybody over and over?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Who was
fucking
that?
much. I love it. Oh my god.
Who the heck elected that lady? That's just
Well,
Well,
it's
the thing is,
Britain,
when you
so
introduce-
if you look
when you
at Britain
introduce
right now,
yourself- When you introduce yourself that many times, the name sticks in voters' heads.
has she just always done that? Like always introduced herself, even
Yeah.
before she was elected, just so
I feel
people didn't
like she
think there was a
has.
choice.
alright.
So
I have another
alright.
complaint. Why the fuck is the doctor wearing heels?
wearing what?
Did you notice that? Like, the doctor, when looking at the pig, was wearing these high fucking heels and, like, tight, like, I don't think that is proper attire to be looking at, especially because she only had a lab coat when dealing with extraterrestrial,
Oh,
like,
that doctor.
That's-
Okay,
her attire
you
was...
said the doctor, and I thought
Yeah,
you meant the character
I thought
name
the
of the
same thing.
doctor. I mean, like, but you meant the woman who was examining the.
Yeah, the whole episode is so goofy. Like, all
Okay.
the soldiers are all
It would've
these
been
wimpy
goofier.
boys.
And why are
It
they
would've
all in
been
one
goofier
room?
if the doctor
Yeah.
had been wearing heels. Just saying.
It would have made more sense if the doctor was wearing heels. I would give you that. Just because
I
I
have a
wouldn't
note.
question it.
I have a note that just says evil giggling. I think that's about the
Yeah, the
Slithian.
Yeah, the
Before
Slithians
they,
just... Yeah, they all just
before
kind
they
of go into
unmasked.
one room and toot it up and then giggle.
yeah.
And everyone's just like, wow, they're nice.
So the doctor gives Rose a TARDIS key finally.
Whoa.
It seems like by now she should have gotten one, but whatever.
That's what
Um,
the doctor says. That's the exact quote.
Yeah,
It's about
you're
time
right,
you
actually,
have
he
one.
does. So the doctor decides to go out and get a closer look while Rose stays at home, and I think this furthers the theory that Bryce had in episode 2 about the doctor really just not wanting Rose to be there.
Yep.
He just, he flies off on his own. Did you notice there were a bunch of like banners that people had made welcoming the aliens?
Yep.
As the doctor was walking out, and one of them I wrote down just said, "Hello, E.T."
I saw that.
Hello,
That's-
E.T.
ELLO, hello, E.T.
Yeah, hello.
And that's right before Mickey spots the doctor as the doctor's walking
Yeah,
out.
and he's just like,
he
oh
goes,
shit, tits, bong hits.
It's a
Sure.
quote from the episode,
But-
by the way.
He decides to try to catch the doctor, and he just misses him because the doctor gets to the TARDIS and flies off, and Mickey runs through the spot where the TARDIS just was and straight into a wall.
Yes, and he's
And-
sad and then he goes up, meets Rose.
But
and he's
here's
like, wow.
here's what I want to know though. What was his plan if he had gotten to the TARDIS in
Just run?
time? He would have
Uh,
just run full speed into the TARDIS, like just run into the side of the box.
Well, yeah, he's Mickey. Makes sense.
But that was his plan. That's the best thing he could come up with. Was just run into the side of the box.
He's Mickey.
I mean, welcome back to the show, Mickey. What an introduction.
Ooh, he's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's my favorite character at this point.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of like Mickey too at this point. At this point in the show. So, all right. So the next thing I have is that we see Harriet Jones sneaking into the cabinet room. And she starts reading the emergency protocols that the aliens have left behind. And we see her doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, what do you think of this? Like, this is kind of her turning point. Like, up until this point, she was just in the way. But now she's actually helping, sort of. Although she's reading things she's not supposed to be reading.
Yep.
So, like, she's either in the way or breaking the law.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Seems good to me.
The ideal candidate for future prime minister, I've got to say.
I mean, it's not too different
Better
from real
than-
life politics.
Yeah, especially in our country.
No, not just in ours, in every single one that's ever existed, ever.
Yes,
Right.
but I was making a statement about a certain particular individual involved in politics, who I will not name.
Yeah, Patrick's kind of a dummy, isn't he?
He is really.
Yeah. To all
This is-
Patricks watching, we don't like you.
Now this is
No.
we're referring
No.
specifically to William's brother Patrick, who we are.
Yes.
No,
Screw
William.
Patrick.
No, William's other side. His Mr. Hyde.
My alter ego.
By the way, is it bad that like Patrick doesn't even listen to our podcast? Like he's the one person that's like closest to the three of us, and he doesn't even listen to our podcast.
He's a busy boy.
Yeah,
Just leave.
it's really too bad. We'll never have any amount of success without Patrick. So, the doctor goes to the hospital where they're examining the pig. And he just kind of wanders into a room with a bunch of guys with guns. And then suddenly the pig wakes up, and the doctor just like takes command of all of these guys with guns.
Yep. Because he's
I
a
don't-
doctor. He's very charismatic. Like, you know what? Why not? He's the doctor. He's an alien. He knows the exact
So
thing
they
to
just
say.
blindly follow this guy who they don't know.
Yep.
That seems legit to me. And there's an exciting chase scene with the pig, and then it gets shot, and I felt bad for the pig. And you guys have already said you did too. So Bryce, the pig was just killed.
Yes. Shot through a heart.
No.
Good God, Captain.
Thank you, William.
Yeah, I'm not
Pig
gonna
is
say it. That's not my job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have another shot at it, Bryce, if you'd like it, because
Shot through the heart.
right after
Yep. After. Then
right
the,
after the pig is
the
killed.
Prime Minister is killed by the other aliens.
No. Prime Minister's already dead, but we don't know
No,
that
no,
yet.
the Prime Minister is killed because he's the active Prime Minister, so he's technically Prime Minister.
No, he's already been dead. This is just an alien in a skin suit the whole time.
Oh,
But
yeah!
it's the general who walks in and confronts the three aliens, and they fart repeatedly and then kill him and steal his skin.
Good God.
That's so rude. It's like such a disgraceful way to die.
I know,
What a
it's the
great-
most disgraceful death we've seen so far. More disgraceful even than the butcher's boy, who I think was the most disgraceful death we had seen up to this point.
He put up a good fight.
He ran, not fast. So they just I literally wrote that down. My note literally.
I have to pause everything right now to realize that the Elder Scrolls 6 has been confirmed.
What? Okay.
Okay. Breaking news.
Fuck the podcast.
This was 44 minutes ago.
What
Yes!
realm?
Yes!
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know! I just see it, and I'm just...
Are we
Todd
still
Howard,
recording,
baby.
Bryce?
Yeah, we're still recording. This is
Okay.
going in the podcast because
Oh, no.
everyone needs to know, alright?
Yeah, a week
Doctor
from
Who,
now,
Game of
people are
Thrones.
watching.
The Elder Scrolls are basically like Doctors and Dragons game anyway, so you know.
See, this is perfect because now we can put Elder Scrolls in the tags for this video.
Yes, and E3 and everything's.
Oh yeah.
Well, they didn't confirm where it was. They just literally
Yeah,
said it exists.
It's gonna happen. It's happening. Woo, woo, woo. I love Todd Howard.
The picture looks like Hammerfell, to me at least.
I doubt. I think it's gonna. It has to be elsewhere or something like that. It has to be one or the other, or they're gonna make it. I can see them making it all of Tamriel, and them fighting the other continent.
Okay.
But enough of that.
Yeah, let's not prolong this discussion.
That
As
just
I was
had.
about to say.
Yeah.
As I was about to say, my note literally says, aliens fart repeatedly, then kill the general guy and steal his body. Harriet watches from the closet. So Harriet Jones has been hiding. Yeah, Harriet Jones has been hiding in the closet watching this. So she now knows that the three fat people are aliens. And the next thing we see then is the doctor and the other doctor who's wearing heels.
And a lab coat dealing with alien life, remember?
I thought she looked professional.
God. And then the soldiers who, you know, trained in British, highest security, highest ranking, fucking all that jazz, and they all weigh like 130 pounds and have twigs as their arms. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, what is this aesthetic?
So, anyway, we see the doctor talking to the unnamed physician, I guess.
Yes.
Medical examiner, and they're in the middle of a conversation, and then the doctor just disappears.
Well,
and,
he had no use for her anyway.
Well, yeah, she's even more useless than Rose. So he flies back to get Rose, his slightly more useful companion. And
only slightly.
Only slightly. This episode's not good, everybody. So, so before the doctor gets back, Mickey goes up to Jackie and Rose's apartment and confronts Rose. And we find out that Jackie accused Mickey of murder. Good God, Captain.
Good
God, Captain.
But you see, Rose has been alive the whole time.
That's where you're wrong, kiddo.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That was forced.
That was very, very, very forced, and you should feel ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody thought that Mickey had murdered Rose. He was questioned 5 times, he says, by the police. And they all run outside when they hear the TARDIS approaching, and so Jackie finds out that the Doctor's an alien.
Surprise,
And-
surprise.
Yep. And so
Yep.
Rose and Mickey and the Doctor are hanging out in this, and Jackie runs back inside and reports the Doctor to the police
Yep.
because he's an alien and they want information about aliens. But
Yes.
the police, so
No, she calls
like-
the number on the screen that says, if you know any more
Yeah.
aliens, call this number. And she does. Like a
Uh-huh.
mom would.
Yep. We get another mention of the fact that Mickey really loves football.
Yep. Because he's a retard.
Uh-huh. We get the first mention of Unit. In the reboot, Unit was a thing from the original series that they're bringing back in this episode. So that's kind of cool.
What?
I'm,
We're confused.
So Unit stands for United Nations Intelligence Task Force.
Oh, yeah. The fact that... Okay. All right. Yeah.
And
No.
it's-
Yeah.
It's basically intelligence about aliens. And the Doctor worked with Unit in the original series, so they
And they
they
killed
mentioned
them
it
off.
here.
Didn't they kill all them off?
Well, yes.
great reference.
Yes, they did kill all the Unit guys who showed up at Downing Street. I like that when the helicopters show up and the spotlight is on Mickey and the Doctor and Rose, Mickey just takes off. Like he runs. I don't know.
Because Mickey is kind of a little bitch.
Yeah, kind of.
No.
Anyway,
Mickey's
so
the
they're
hero.
escorted to Downing Street after that, you know.
Oh, let's not forget though.
No.
Prior to the spotlights coming on, the Doctor suggested that Mickey drive them there. And we all remember what a great driver Mickey is.
Pizza!
Pizza.
So I actually would have loved to have seen that, but unfortunately, they didn't write it that way.
Anyway,
Um,
we need to...
Yep.
Yeah.
So Harriet initially tried to talk to the Doctor when they got there.
Hey James,
Um,
why have you been
Well,
playing with these
meanwhile,
games? By
Jackie's getting interviewed by one of the Slovene, who's disguised as a police officer. But
Mhm.
anyway, Harriet tried to talk with the Doctor. They wouldn't let him talk, so she talked to Rose instead. And then she showed Rose the skin suit from the other guy from earlier.
Mhm.
Then they find the body of the Prime Minister, Bryce,
Good God, Captain.
and
Well,
the Slovene who is disguised as Margaret Blaine kills the Indian guy.
Good
Look.
God, Captain.
Yeah.
Have you mentioned the Slovene to me before? Because the name sounds really familiar.
Well, it was the aliens in this episode, if that helps.
I mean, no, I know that. I was saying like weeks ago. I feel like you've mentioned them to me before.
I think I might have said Slovene on the podcast
That
when
might be
talking
it.
about aliens with really shitty CGI on this show.
Well, that's probably what I remember it from. Because the name just keeps like, I feel like I've heard it before.
So yeah, they kill the assistant guy and they find the Prime Minister's body. And at the end of part 1, there's a big electrical attack on all
Yep.
of the Unit people and the Doctor.
And part 2 kicks
And-
off with the Doctor
No,
being
and
like...
wait, because Jackie's also in danger because the police officer has unmasked himself, and Rose and Harriet are in danger because they're cornered by a Slovene.
Wow, what a cliffhanger! It's almost
I
like they
know.
overdid it to a
They
point
really did, didn't they?
where...
It's like everybody's in grave peril. And
You
then
know, like, it would be great if they just kill off everyone in the first 10 seconds of the next episode and Earth blows up, and it's like, that's the whole show.
that would have been great. But that's not how it happened. The doctor reversed the effect of the electricity
Because,
and used it to attack the Slitheen. So
wow.
that included, apparently, the Slitheen who had cornered Rose and Jackie. And so they were weak. And
also the one that, yeah. So basically,
so Harriet and Rose ran away.
so plot
and,
armor saves the day.
Mickey ran in with a chair. And he broke a chair over the Slitheen's head to save Jackie. And as they were running out, he took a picture of it with his phone.
Because why not?
Why wouldn't you? And
I have an idea.
okay, what's your idea?
Don't steal this.
Okay, wait.
I have an idea.
Before we get to your idea,
Some
all
Good
the-
God,
Or-
Captain, times however many people died.
Yeah, good God, Captain, for all of the alien experts who were killed. Okay, William, your idea.
1 second, while I remember it. Oh yeah.
How drunk
So-
are you?
Imagine something called Slapchat, or it's like Snapchat, but you slap someone and take a picture of them. That's-
So you're saying that Mickey just invented Slapchat,
Yes.
only with a chair.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a problem with that, Ryan?
Actually, no, I think it's brilliant.
That's a great idea, isn't it?
Why?
I verbally patent this.
You know what? Can,
What, Bryce?
Can slaves patent things?
Well, I have union power, so there's got to be something I can do for that.
Yeah, he does have the power of union behind him.
The power of union.
The power
Who
of
runs
union.
the union? Is it just you?
Yeah, I'm elected though, so it's okay.
He's elected by himself, for himself.
I have a right to vote, don't
No, you're a slave, actually.
I? Careful, Ryan. Servant.
Okay.
Unpaid servant.
Unpaid indentured servitude.
Indefinitely indentured servant.
But you're working to rectify that. You want fair compensation.
See, yeah, and I don't want to go the violent way. I think that diplomacy with your friends, we'll call them, is the best way to go.
So
Have they tried to shove a law in your face?
What? You both talked at once.
Bryce, go ahead.
No. It's better if I don't.
Okay.
Anyway,
Let's just move on with the
show.
episode.
Yeah.
So Mickey broke the chair over the Slitheen's head. The doctor ran out of the room because he got cornered by everybody. And he was like, they're aliens in costumes. And then he's like, that's never going to work, is it?
And then
And
they're
so they
like,
cornered
yo,
him and they
shoot him right now.
backed
No,
him up.
elevator.
They backed him up against the elevator. Ugh. Just terrible.
Sad.
So then my next thing I wrote was Harriet and Rose are bad at hiding, which is definitely true
Yeah.
because they were very clearly visible.
Maybe it was just a camera angle. You never know.
Yeah. And then the next thing I wrote was fire extinguisher rescue.
Yep, that oh god, the whole scene is so bad, and then they start chasing them, and it's like,
so
oh,
bad.
honestly, just gonna
But
tell you my rating right now, 3 out of 10.
No, wait till we get to the end because there's something coming up right here that I liked a lot. Because when they got back into the cabinet room, and the doctor was saying he was gonna like triplicate the alcohol or some shit like that,
Yeah.
and it's revealed through their discussion that he's an alien. And Jones, of course, did not know this. And she's like, he's an alien.
Oh.
And Rose is like, yep, he's an alien. And she goes, if he's an alien, why does he sound like he's from the north? And
All
what did
out of
Rose
plants
say?
have a north. Wow, it's a throwback.
It's not a throwback, it's a callback.
Throwback.
What's this? Isn't that the same thing?
I don't think so. I think throwback is something else. Throwback is when the Packers wear those awful blue uniforms.
Those uniforms are great.
So yeah, Rose says lots of planets have a north, which is a callback to episode 1, which was also a terrible episode. So that was a fun little moment. So they end up locked in this room that's secure, and the Slitheen just like don't even try to like get in. They don't even make any effort. They're like, yep, they're stuck in there. We're good. Let's just move on. What did you guys think of that? I mean, that turned out to be
It
a
was
pretty
just
big
so
deal.
dumb.
I know.
I hated it.
So then a bunch of fat people start arriving at 10
Yep.
Downing Street. And of course the guy on the news is like giving a live report as everybody gets out of
Yeah,
the
I don't know
limos.
how these people have any relation to each other, but they do.
Well, just look at them. They're all fat. It's pretty obvious to me.
No, you can't
um,
discriminate. It's 2018.
But this wasn't made in 2018.
Yes, it was.
This aired in 2005. You could discriminate back then. So Mickey sent the picture of the alien to Rose. And so Rose is like, oh my god, Mickey's alive, and he took a picture of a Slitheen. And then, I don't know. It's just dumb. Like, why did he have to take the picture?
Why not?
It's dumb.
Wouldn't you?
So I also noticed Mickey has drawings of the TARDIS like all over his bedroom. There's one taped to the side of his computer, and there's several on his wall.
And they're made by an official.
And like he must have drawn these pictures of the TARDIS.
No, he posted them from DeviantArt.
Yeah, you're probably right.
When was
Fanfic.
DeviantArt created?
DeviantArt is most.
I think
creative.
Mickey created DeviantArt right after he
Is
created
that what we're-
Snapchat.
I think Deviant's like a tech billionaire by now.
So, do you guys remember what the secret password was that
No, I
gives
just didn't even
Mickey the
question.
control of the
No.
nukes in
I never
the-
listened.
I didn't catch it.
The secret password to get control of all of the nuclear missiles in the world is Buffalo.
2 capital S, right?
Nope, just straight Buffalo.
Kind of makes sense.
It seems like a pretty secure password to me. And it seems like... 'cause the
Seems
doctor's-
realistic, to be fair.
Yeah, because the doctor's like, just repeat the same password every time. Like that, oh, God. Just such hacky writing.
But I mean, to be fair, it's
Like, they don't explain
it's
how
sadly
the doctor...
realistic.
They don't explain how the doctor got access to this password, and they don't explain why it's the same every time. It's like, oh man, it's just such bad writing. It's so bad, you guys. Buffalo.
But you know what isn't gonna be bad? The Elder Scrolls 6.
It's gonna be pretty good.
Let's take a break and talk about that for a minute.
1 second, I gotta take my shirt off.
Related or unrelated?
Okay, I'm back.
This is because we're discussing Elder Scrolls. He had to take a
No,
shirt
I
off.
spilled beer all over my shirt.
God fucking damn it, not again.
I was really hoping it was because of the Elder Scrolls thing, because that was perfectly timed.
It was that too. I was just like, oh, getting all sweaty, man.
Ooh. I feel some sensation inside me.
Okay. So, did you actually want to talk about the Elder Scrolls, or can we finish this episode?
They didn't release like any actual info, as far as I can tell. They just
Yeah.
said Elder Scrolls 6, and then they left it at that.
Yep, that's it. It's a 30-second trailer with the title screen Elder Scrolls 6, and that's it. That's all we asked for, and I can't wait for it to come out this year. I don't think it's gonna be this year though.
You know, it'll be a while.
I think it's gonna be next year, but still.
So, the police officer Slovene tracked down Jackie and Mickey because there had to be some element of danger to them. So
Mhm.
he's now with all the other fat people. He goes and tracks them down, and Mickey picks up a bat with which to beat up the alien. And they end up in the kitchen because they're still on the phone with the doctor and Rose and Harry. And they figure out where the aliens are from, what planet. And it's one of my favorite words in this universe because it's probably the longest. Their home planet is Raxacoricofallapatorius.
I don't
Why
know what that
are they
means.
in Earth? Like, why aren't they back at their home?
Because they wanna blow it up to sell it.
Is that what
I
that
would.
was?
Well, okay. In this episode, we learn that the Sluthian are not a species; they're a family of Raxacoricofallapatorians, and they are merchants, and not just merchants, but they sell stuff on the black market, and so they're trying to blow up the Earth and then sell it piece by piece.
That's pretty cool.
So they're out to make money, basically.
Okay.
And I can't say any more because I might be spoiling shit. So yeah, they deduce that these are aliens from Raxacoricofallapatorius, and their weakness is apparently vinegar.
Yup, because calcium.
Right, yeah. And so Jackie finds a bunch of. She's really lucky to find all this stuff with vinegar in Mickey's kitchen, and including gherkins. Gherkins, which I've recently learned is the British word for pickles.
Really?
Yes. They call
Really?
pickles gherkins over there.
I did not know that, actually.
Strangely, I learned that by listening to an interview that Macy Williams did, and she, of course, plays Arya on Game of Thrones.
Yep.
But if you're out there and you're like me and you haven't seen Game of Thrones, do not listen to that because there's spoilers in that interview. I had some things ruined for me, but that's okay. But anyway, she throws the vinegar on the Slitheen and he blows up. And props department did a great job in that scene.
At what point were they told about the vinegar?
Like right before.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was fast.
Because they're on the phone with the doctor and he tells them, go to the kitchen, find vinegar. And then they do that.
Okay, I missed that.
So then the fat aliens have a press conference in which they want the UN to give them control of books. And the doctor immediately figures out what their plan is. Somehow. I don't know.
Because they just stay, because why not?
And then he says, Mickey the idiot, the world is in your hands. And Mickey fires a missile at 10 Downing Street, blows up the building. The Slovene are killed, and Rose and Harriet and the doctor all survive, safe in their steel enclosed room. It's a ridiculous ending. However, many aliens just died, William.
Sad. Good God, Captain.
Good God, Captain.
Good
Also,
God,
we missed
Captain.
we missed the police officer, Slovene. Good God, Captain.
God, Captain.
When he got vinegar all over him. So that basically takes us to the end. We find out that Harriet Jones is a future prime minister. So she's gonna, be elected, presumably. And then the doctor goes to fly off, and there's blah blah blah. Sad. Don't leave me, Rose. And I found it interesting that well, first I found it interesting that the doctor is making this kid wash the graffiti off the side of his TARDIS. Because if you remember, he spray painted Bad Wolf on the side of the TARDIS.
Yep.
And now he's washing it off. So I don't know how the doctor tracked down this kid.
I mean, he has a TARDIS, and he's the doctor.
Yep. He can do pretty much anything. So I like the conversation that Mickey had with the doctor, though, where the doctor said, "You can come with us if you want." And then Mickey said, "No, it's not for me, but don't tell Rose I said that." And then when Rose says, "Mickey, you can come with," the doctor's like, "Nope, he can't. I'm not taking him."
Nope, my decision's
then-
final, and there's like no questions asked.
Yeah, I know. And Rose just like lets that go. She's like, "Oh, sorry, Mickey," which indicates to me that she really didn't want him to come either.
Yeah, not only that, I think she's just dense.
So at this point in the show, you guys think Rose and the doctor, you think they're doing it?
Yep.
What? I think that Rose and her mom, on the other hand,
Wait,
Actually-
Rose is doing it with her mom?
yes.
Confused.
Actually, I think that Mickey and Rose's mom, I think they're doing it.
I see. Oh, I'm so sad my daughter's gone. I'm so sad she's gone too. It's almost as if our sadness links.
Is that
Yeah,
I
all
write
bad
the
we
best fan fiction.
Actually, no, because she accused him of murder. So actually, I take that back. I don't think they're doing it.
Of course,
Um,
that's the greatest way to do it.
But the doctor and Rose totally at this point, like, that's why Rose isn't disappointed that Mickey's not coming. Like, oh, now I get to keep doing it with the doctor.
You tried.
And that's basically the end.
Yeah,
10
not that good
seconds.
of an episode. 3 out of 10.
She goes, "I'll see you in 10 seconds," and then 10 seconds go by.
Yep. And
So,
I mean, to be fair, that doesn't mean anything because of how sporadic the TARDIS is.
yeah, because the TARDIS is always off. Like, it's shitty to kind of promise that you're going to be back in 10 seconds when the TARDIS is always off by so much. Like, it was off by an entire year. It was off by 9 years in the last episode.
Right, just maybe not promise anything. Just be like, yeah, you might never see me again, but you know what? I'll still love you forever and ever. What?
Yep.
Don't be a liar. Rose is dumb. I hate Rose. I hate most of the characters in the show. The pacing's terrible. The animation's
Except Mickey.
terrible.
All except Mickey. Mickey's the only good one.
Yeah, 3 out of 10. That was the worst episode we've seen all season. I'm being generous with 3 out of 10,
So,
I feel.
Bryce, you're holding firm at 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
William,
I have to agree with Bryce. This is the worst one so far, but I don't think it's a 3. I'm going to give it a 4.
okay. Well, you're giving it the same ranking you gave to Unquiet Dead, which was, the lowest. So,
I gave
Alright.
4 to that one. That's fine. I want it to be slightly below that one.
So what are you giving it now?
3.9.
2.9. Of course.
I think it's worse than the Unquiet Dead, but it's like they're both like, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give this one a 3.5. It was bad. It was very,
Alright.
very bad.
So William's the #1 Doctor Who fan. He loves it.
He loves it this week. And
I love
actually, William, if you take away the ridiculously high rating that I gave on Quiet Dead, William actually loves this show more than either of us.
What's my average right now?
Oh my god.
4.63.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. That's like generally how I feel about the show.
Oh man, I'm glad to be done with this episode of Doctor Who.
And
I
we can move
promise you
on to
guys.
a really spooky episode with more politics and fun.
You guys, the next episode of Doctor Who is good. I promise. It's so good. It's.
If I'm let down,
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Dalek. I'm gonna have to take my shirt off, you guys.
Take it off.
all right.
Join the club.
All right. I'm back.
It sounds like.
Oh, okay. You know what? Now I'm cold. I got to put my shirt back on, you guys.
No,
Sick.
get off, right? It'll boost our views. Or listens,
All right, sorry,
I
guys.
guess.
I'm back. My shirt's back on. Let's talk about Game of Thrones. Let's talk about Cripples, Bastards, and Broken Things. So I guess I got to give my thoughts, right?
Yep.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yep.
Um,
Game of Thrones basically has the most consistency for like quality TV I've seen.
it's very consistent.
It's very
We got a lot of background on a lot of characters in this episode. We met a couple of new characters. We finally learned Theon Greyjoy's name.
Have you not seen? Did you never
Well,
know his name was Theon?
Well, you guys told me that was his name, but they never said it in the show up until this point.
I think they did.
They absolutely did not. I've been paying close attention. So anyway, I thought it was a pretty good episode. It did a lot of things well. So let's get.
All right, let's get into it.
It's time, Bryce, because our podcast last time got so off the rails in the Game of Thrones discussion. I actually wrote down the order of when everything happens. So the first thing that happens is we see Bran dreaming.
Oh, with the three-eyed raven.
There's a three-eyed raven. What the fuck is up with that?
I'll tell you right now, that is one of the most important things in this episode introduced. The three-eyed raven is the most important thing in this episode introduced. I'll tell you that right now.
Even if you like
more important than the next thing that we see, which is we meet Hodor.
Hodor.
Okay.
Oh wait. Okay. Never mind. Second most. Hodor is great. The
thing is, I remember there being memes having to do with, but I don't remember what any of them were, and I don't know what happens.
Oh, I'm so glad you don't. I'm so fucking glad you don't.
And I'm not gonna look it up because I don't want to ruin it for myself.
Don't look up anything Game of Thrones. Just keep.
Oh no, I never do. So I'm excited to see what happens to this character. I love him so far. He's great.
Hodor.
He just says his own name. It's beautiful.
He's a Pokemon.
So we have the conversation that I was hoping for between Tyrion and Bran at Winterfell.
And Tyrion's being a good guy again, you know?
Yeah, he has these plans for a special saddle that will hold Bran and the horse. That's cool.
Yep.
And then there's a conversation as Tyrion is leaving between him and Theon, where Theon's background.
Theon
So that was
Greyjoy.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be
he's-
really hard for me to keep track of all of these houses.
Yeah, it is for everyone.
So I feel like the second time, once I get all the way through, rewatch the whole thing, and I feel like the second time it'll all kind of fit much better.
Yep.
Because the Greyjoys at this point seem like they're just kind of enemies of everybody. So I don't know. And then after that, the next thing we see is we're at the wall and we see Jon training with his companions. And we're introduced to Samwell Tarly, the fat guy.
Tully. Tarly.
Good.
Is he a Tully
And
or is he a Tarly?
he's a well,
I can't remember his house. You see,
It
I've
is-
watched.
it's Tarly because I
Okay,
was
yeah.
watching this with subtitles, and it's Tarly.
Okay, yes. So Sam.
And
Some.
my first thought when I saw this big fat guy at the wall was, I bet he's a Slovene.
He's a what?
A Slovene.
Oh my fuck off. No. Sam is a sweetheart
See,
and he's
it's just-
beautiful and everyone loves Sam. Don't insult this man with that shitty episode. He's not to be associated, alright?
It's just one more connection between these two
No,
shows.
there is no connection to be had. I will disregard
is
everything you say for the rest of this
absolutely a
podcast.
connection here.
I am so mad you said that. Oh my.
Sam is definitely a Slovene. So we meet him and he gets beat up, and that was a fun scene because the Slovene are bad guys. And so then the next thing we see is the Dothraki.
The Dothraki.
And they arrive at Vice Dothrak.
Little bitch boy and Daenerys Targaryen having their combo.
Yeah. That's later though.
Yep. Ow.
I liked that. I liked the line where, because the last episode I made a comment about how Viserys just clearly does not understand like how to be a leader and how leadership works, and nothing epitomized that better than the line, Khal Drogo is marching the wrong way with my. Like, it's not your fucking army if someone else is marching it the wrong way.
Yep.
Like it.
Yeah, he's.
It just bothers me so much.
He's
such
no
a
one's favorite
terrible-
character. He's no one's favorite character, and
He's
the
such a
actor
terrible
plays.
character.
No, the actor is so good at playing no one's favorite character.
Oh yeah, I mean the character is well written, but he's just a terrible dude.
Yeah, no one likes him.
He's really dumb also. But anyway, then there's a creepy bathtub scene where we learn about dragons a little bit.
Yep.
Still haven't seen a dragon in this show yet. I'm a little disappointed.
Oh, don't worry.
It's just like, we call our podcast Doctors and Dragons, and so far, no dragons.
There have been dragons. There have been dragon blood men and women. 2 of them, to be exact. And there have been dragon eggs.
Yeah, you're trying real hard to drum up some dragons. I haven't seen them.
How many episodes are in the season? 10?
Yep.
Ooh, we're already halfway through.
No, we're only on 4.
We're already halfway through.
All right. So, anyway, after the creepy bathtub scene, just giving me more reasons to really hate Viserys, we go to King's Landing, and we see Sansa talking to the old lady.
Yep.
I don't know her name, but she's like the caretaker for the Stark children, I guess. And I liked when she was like, she's like, your uncle was killed by, your uncle and grandfather were killed by King Aerys. And then Sansa goes, the Mad King. And she goes, commonly known as the Mad King. And that spawned a theory. I think
Oh.
that whoever this old lady is, I think she was banging the Mad King.
Oh God, fucking damn it! Why? What is with you and sex?
Well, it's just that, like, why would she be defending him? I think she might actually be Viserys and Daenerys' mother. And maybe I'm wrong. We'll just see. But that's my theory.
Okay.
So, then they're preparing for this tournament. We find out they can't keep the peace in the streets. There's all that going on. Ned is talking to the Grand Maester about Jon Arryn
Yes.
and his death. We find out that Lord Varys is a eunuch, which I had already guessed that, actually.
Yeah, I thought that it was pretty obvious that the man did not have a penor anymore.
Yes, it was obvious.
That he's an interesting dude. He's an interesting lad.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna enjoy the sort of politics going on in King's Landing.
Oh
It
yeah,
seems-
it's a lot of fun.
It seems really interesting. A lot of layers. And then so Ned wants to read the book that Jon Arryn was reading, and it's this big document about all the lords and
Yeah, it's
everybody.
basically just all the lords.
It's all the records of
Yeah, the people.
public record, basically.
It's like an atlas.
Yeah, except atlases have maps.
Yes, maps of people.
No, maps of places.
Yeah, people like me, a place.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway.
Oh, God, that was terrible.
I can feel you just
Oh,
retracting.
you can feel the cringe. Oh,
I read you like a book,
like an atlas.
like an atlas. Let's go.
Okay, so anyway, then there's a conversation between Ned and Arya. And actually, this conversation answered a question that I had in a previous episode where I said I wanted to know why Arya accompanied them in the first place. And
Arya? What do you mean?
Yeah.
She's the sister. She's not. She doesn't need to be in Winterhold. She needs to be with her father.
but
and
I had wondered why she hadn't just stayed behind at Winterfell. Like, I got why Sansa was going, because
she's a lady
engaged
of
to
the
Joffrey.
house. She needs to go with Sansa. She was gonna marry
But
a lord there.
here's what we learned, because Arya asked, now that Bran is awake, is he going to be joining us? And that was telling, because it's like, okay, so all the children are supposed to come along. Only
Well,
Bran's in a coma, so he has to stay behind. Robb has to stay behind and be Lord at Winterfell, and Rickon is too young.
yeah.
So it makes sense now.
So
So-
only 2 of the 6.
Yeah, and Jon Snow's a bastard. So yeah, only 2 of the 6. But that's all of them.
Yes.
So yeah, it turned out that only 2 of the 6 are there, and it just happened to be the 2 girls. So anyway, that conversation.
Yep.
Then at the wall again, we see Sam and Jon on the wall, and we find out that Sam can't see very well.
Sam is afraid of heights. Sam's a little
He's
bitch boy. He's sad. He's gonna cry a lot.
Yep, and he's like, I liked when he said,
My
I'm not
dad.
gonna get any better. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
get any better, and can't possibly get any worse.
Yep.
But yeah, we learn his whole backstory. So he's kind of forced to be at the wall.
Yeah.
and he was left with no choice. So that's kind of a sad story because we're all
Sam
expecting
is
him.
sad, but we all
At
love
least
him.
I'm expecting him to die very soon.
No one hates Sam. Everyone loves Sam.
Except for the guys who are beating the shit out of him. They hate him.
Nah, they love him.
They beat the shit out of him out of love. So at King's Landing, then we go back there, and we see Ned talking to Lord Baelish. And we hear mention of Sir Hugh, who we'll see later in the episode. Is Sir Hugh important to this backstory?
Sir Hugh? You mean
Yeah.
the Lord? The Knight?
I mean the guy who got killed later in this
Yeah, the
episode.
Knight. The Knight.
Is he like important somehow in the backstory having to do with Jon Arryn? Because he was Jon Arryn's squire.
He's just a squire. Every guy has a squire. Every hand has a squire, I think. I don't think Ned has one yet because he's new. King's Landing. But
Well, what about Jory then? What's his title?
Who's Jory again?
He's the guy who Ned trusts.
Who?
He's in
Littlefinger?
this episode. No. He's in this episode multiple times. It's when Littlefinger asks him, "Is there someone you can trust that you trust?" And then he goes, "Yes." And then he sends Jory to go do the thing.
Oh, him. I forgot about him.
You're really helpful, man.
I'm very helpful. I don't know why you're being so mean to me. Don't bully me.
You know, William hasn't said anything in a while. Are you still with us?
That answers our question.
All right. So he's not still with us.
He's muted.
Probably...
No, William is muted right now. William, would you care to unmute yourself?
Fuck. How long have I been muted for?
I think
Oh
whole time we've been going for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
There's like at one point where I was trying to say something and then Bryce kept interrupting me. I'm like, what the hell? Why does he keep interrupting me?
Do you remember what you were trying to say?
No.
Why was he muted?
Jory does not have a title. That's a more recent thing I was trying to say.
Thank you.
He's just a common dude. How long have you been doing the Game of Thrones part now?
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Bryce, mute him again.
No, I can't. I never muted him. He muted himself.
I muted myself.
He muted himself.
Rip.
Oh, that's funny.
Why did you mute yourself?
Patrick was bugging me. I didn't want him to like come over the mic, so I was yelling at him. And then I forgot to unmute myself.
Oh my god.
Oh, we are professionals. We're so good at this. So, anyway, Ned sends Jory to go talk to Sir Hugh. And Hugh blows him off, of course, because he's a knight. But then Ned and Jory go to meet Gendry, who I feel is probably significant. Ned seems to conclude that he is King Robert's bastard son.
Yep.
Hence the bastard and Cripples, bastards and broken things.
Yep.
That's a connection. Although
Wow.
Tyrion did actually say the title of the episode in the episode, so
Yeah, he
I guess
did
that's where it
because
comes from.
I love how they intertwine the name of the episode and everything around the episode alongside like direct quotes that make sense that don't feel forced. Like everything is so natural.
Yeah,
It's
it
just-
seems like what they do is they pull out a quote from the episode after the fact and make that the title of the episode.
Or they just are good screenwriters.
One of the two. And in fact, quite possibly both. So then Jory goes to talk to Jamie because he has a message for the king from Ned. And there's a great conversation between Jamie and Jory. And we learn that Jamie has particular hatred for the Greyjoys in that conversation.
I mean, no, he fought against them.
Yeah,
and they were
he
just
seems
little
to be
bitch
like,
boys, and he's just like, yeah, they were kind of wimps.
but Jory was like, yeah, Theon's a good lad, and then Jamie's like, I doubt it.
Well, yeah, because the Greyjoys are pirates. They're quite literally just pirates. So people always look down on them.
Are they considered one of the Seven Kingdoms?
Yes. Is
Dorne considered one as well?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if either of those are true.
You're just answering with confidence.
Yeah.
I love your confidence, Bryce. I love it.
I know.
Ah,
It's great. I'll just like lie through my teeth and then say, oh wait, no, that's not true.
you're just like certain political figures.
Every
I'm-
political figure.
One in particular. Once again,
Yeah,
the same
Patrick
one-
Star.
Patrick. Yep. Again, we're talking about Patrick.
That guy.
Do you think that Patrick is actually just the president?
Well, why would you mention the president?
No. Patrick has some interesting views.
Patrick, yeah, most right-wing politicians don't like Trump. But anyway, enough politics. That's way too much politics for one episode.
Yeah, we've already gotten too deep. So then at the wall where they go back to next, John is talking to the other guys about Sam and how they should be nice to him. And the one guy is like, nope, I'm going to slice me off some bacon. And then we finally get to see Ghost again for the first time. And he still hasn't been named in the show. So I'm just trusting you guys that Ghost is actually the name of this albino wolf.
It's Ghost. Woof woof.
Allegedly, it's Ghost.
That's just the name we gave it.
Yeah. Its name is actually like Reggie or something.
Ronald McDonald.
Reggie the Wolf. So anyway, we see Ghost again, and that was cool. I liked that. So apparently Ghost decided to follow John to the wall and is sticking with him.
Well, yeah, it's his direwolf. He's been there
So
the
it's
whole
interesting
time.
though, because the wolves, they all seem loyal to their particular Stark, or in this case, Snow.
Well, yeah, they're direwolves. They're loyal.
But okay, we've only actually seen one of the Stark kids training the wolf, and that was Arya trying to train Nymeria, and Nymeria's very bad at it.
Well, that's because it's Arya.
So like I don't know. I wish we had seen like more wolf training going on. But anyway, then we go back to the Dothraki and we get the scene that Bryce mentioned earlier where Viserys gets pissed at Daenerys and hits her, and then she hits him back. And she's like, the next time you strike me will be the last time you have hands. Or it's the next time you raise a hand to me will be the last time you have hands. And I'm like, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Daenerys.
Daenerys is great in every way.
By the way,
In this.
since we're talking about Daenerys,
What?
have you guys seen Solo yet? The newest Star Wars?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
fourth best Star Wars movie made.
Not true.
I mean, it's better than the prequels and better than everything released by Disney.
I really liked Rogue One.
I liked Rogue One a lot,
One
too.
can't stand on its own though. Solo could
Yeah, it
stand on its
can.
own as an action movie. No, if you didn't know anything about Star Wars, Rogue One is one of the most mind-numbing, boring movies you'll ever watch in your life. Because there's no investment to any.
You're right.
You will have no investment. Solo, you don't need to have investment at all. It's just a fun action adventure movie, and that's all you ask for in a Star Wars movie for me. Like, basically Solo is like the second half of Attack of the Clones, which is the good part. Just the whole movie, and it's like, okay, I like it.
Yeah.
There are some
liked
corny
it.
lines. There's some corny things.
I liked Solo.
I liked
But
it
I
so
did
much.
not-
I liked it. I want more solos. I want it.
I did not.
Obi-Wan.
There has to be another one now because they've set up stuff at the end of that movie that they have to follow up on. So there
Yeah.
has to be a movie that at least covers the events that are set to transpire. But anyway,
The end of that movie really pissed me off.
What?
I'm not gonna say exactly what happened, but it's a pet peeve of mine.
What pissed you off about it? No.
I don't want to spoil it on the.
do you
podcast.
understand how he can be there?
Yes.
Okay.
So it pisses me off.
What?
But why does that piss you off so much?
It's just a theme that you see in like.
You don't
I don't know, I can't
understand
figure out
how
how
he
to-
could. What?
No, I don't know how to explain it without like spoiling what actually
There's
happened.
a certain character, Bryce, who came back at the end of
Oh
that movie.
yeah, but we already knew about him because of the Clone Wars series
Yeah,
that aired on
I
Cartoon
hate-
Network.
I
Uh-huh.
hate when people don't die. Basically, that's why I like Rogue One. So it's like
Well, we
I
already
really like-
knew that he was still alive in canon.
So William
yeah,
hates.
but that was erased when Disney took over.
Yeah,
But, like, they-
sure
they
it
brought-
was.
In the
Everyone-
canon, like Grievous is brought back, Sidious is brought back. It's like no one ever actually dies, and it just really makes me like not take anything seriously.
Well, you're not supposed. It's Star Wars.
It still
What?
bugs me. There's no
Nothing.
like,
No one
suspense.
dies in Star Trek. What? How many times has Spock died?
Several, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't watch the original.
It's fantasy.
so-
It just kind of works that way.
Okay. Anyway, we should. The whole reason I brought that up is that Emilia Clarke, who plays Daenerys, was in that movie. But anyway, and I did not know when I went to see that movie that she was in it, and I recognized her immediately, which was cool.
Yeah, it's Daenerys Targaryen. And I was like, hell yeah. I saw that. I'm like, wow. She's great.
And once again though, I recognized her by her voice, and that's the second time now that I've done that. Like, because she doesn't look like Daenerys without the hair. She, like you can see it if you're looking for it, but she looks very different without the Daenerys hair. So, anyway, getting back to Game of Thrones. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah, Daenerys. So then we go back to the wall after that scene, and we see Jon talking to the Slovene, and they're scrubbing a table or something, and we find out Jon didn't know where to put it. That was an interesting scene. Again, more backstory about these two characters.
Yep.
Um,
More
Interesting.
backstory, more fun.
I mean, I get that you're supposed to like Jon Snow, but
yeah,
I really like Jon Snow.
You're supposed to like him. Wait, you don't like him?
No, I do.
I'm like, wait.
I kind of want to not like him because I know I'm supposed to. If that makes sense, I have to.
Do not
Nonconformist.
resist. Right.
I have to be nonconformist. Viserys is my favorite character. So anyway, then we go back to the Dothraki again, and we see Daenerys talking to Jorah, and she says Viserys couldn't lead an army even if even if Drogo gave him one,
Yep.
which is absolutely true.
Yeah, no
'Cause
one. Yeah, Viserys.
Viserys at this point, Viserys thinks that he does already have an army, as we established,
Yeah.
and
he thinks,
clearly he does not. So, yeah, he's just not suited to be a leader. And I hope he dies soon. So then we see at King's Landing the tournament happens. We get some interesting stories from Baelish, where he's just talking to the Stark girls for some reason. He's talking to them. We find out where his name Littlefinger comes from. And I was really, really hoping
that it was his penis.
Yes, that it meant he had a small penis. That's what I was hoping for, and it maybe that's the real story. Maybe we'll find out
Next week on Dragon Ball Z.
I get it. But anyway, it seems like we now know where that name comes from, and we also learned we met a new character called the Mountain, and we learned
the Hound's brother, and that's
he's the Hound's brother,
and that's why Hound's face is all fucked up, because he burnt the Hound's face.
He's just like Dwight from The Walking Dead.
I thought you were gonna say from The Office, and I was gonna be very confused.
Yeah, I know, not that Dwight.
Although I thought the same thing.
I feel like Dwight from The Office would kick Dwight from The Walking Dead's ass.
I think that Dwight from The Office would kick everyone's ass in Game of Thrones. And
Dwight from The Office would be good in Game of Thrones.
He actually would be. Like,
of course, actually, I think they establish on that show that he's a fan of Game of Thrones, so that kind of makes sense. I've been rewatching The Office recently, by the way. It's such a good show. But anyway, so then at the tournament, we see the Mountain square off with Sir Hugh, and Sir Hugh takes a lance through the throat.
Yep. He takes a broken thing into the throat.
Oh, that's the broken thing. Nice.
Did you not understand that?
Good God, Captain. No, actually, I did not realize that was the broken thing. I realized that Bran was the cripple, and I realized that what's his name, Gendry, and Gendry, excuse me, and Jon Snow were the bastards, and then broken thing is the lance. Cool.
That goes into I mean, broken thing refers to a lot of that ending scene, like the Hound's pretty broken. Like you see his face, it refers to the Mountain stabbing the poor knight with a broken lance.
Yeah, and it also refers to like Arya probably falling down those stairs and like breaking her neck. But
oof,
you know. But anyway, then there's only one more scene in this episode, the tavern somewhere on the King's Road, where Catelyn encounters Tyrion and plot events conspire. There's this whole big speech about how everybody's loyal to Catelyn's father, and then they basically arrest Tyrion for conspiring to kill Bran, which we kind of know that he didn't do.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens next. But that's the end of the episode. What a cliffhanger. Yep. So much better than everybody on the verge of death and then they all escape.
Yep. It's literally, this episode of Game of Thrones, like, these are the setup episodes that you just love and they're memorable and you Like it
Oh
sets
yeah,
up so
this
much and
episode
it
was very
introduces some
good.
of the best characters in the show.
Yeah, this was very good. I think this is probably my favorite so far of Game of Thrones. So, I like I said at the beginning of this discussion, I really liked this episode, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, which is the highest praise that I've given to this show,
Ooh,
though not the highest praise that I've given to any show.
I see.
So, Bryce, what do you think?
Again, like 8 out of 10. Like that seems accurate. Like, cause it's just there's so much, and it's executed like practically flawlessly, and it's just more setup, more build up, more exposition. It's more of what you want from the show if you're already dragged in, and there's not a lot else you want to say from it. The everything from the setting to the overall feel is just perfect from the show. Keeps me invested. Love it.
William,
What
are
was,
you
what was
muted again?
no, I'm here, I'm here. What was my last rating? Do we remember?
Yes, your ratings so far for Game of Thrones have been 7, 7.5, 7.
I think I agree. This one's an 8.
All
This has been
right.
my favorite
Is
so
this
far.
our first unanimous?
Yeah,
I think so.
this is the first time we've all given it the exact same. Wow.
Wow.
So our average for this episode was 8,
Easy.
Yeah.
obviously.
Wait, why was it 8? Doesn't make any sense.
Because 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. Divided by 3 is 8.
Isn't it 7?
Prove it.
I just did. So our
Math
average
is it's not. Math is opinionated. Damn it.
Math is the gay.
By the way, I want to just state, we're not homophobic here on Doctors and Dragons.
Hey, you don't speak for the
It would be
union.
very, very, very.
There's only one person here who may be a homo. He's also a slave, so.
Hey, don't use the S word, Ryan.
Well, if I can't use the S word, you can't say gay anymore.
Fine.
Okay.
Well, we'll see how long this agreement.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, you gay.
I don't make deals with slaves.
Whoa.
Wow.
So anyway, our Game of Thrones ranking overall for the 4 episodes for all 3 of us is 7 1/3. That
Wait.
is pretty good.
All of us have the same.
No. all of us aggregate is 7.33.
That's a good average
4.
for a beginning of a show. For
Who likes Game of Thrones the best?
So far, Bryce does. He's only slightly above you, and then William is about half a point higher than me.
What about Doctor Who? Who likes it the most? Ryan.
Well, obviously me, because I gave Unquiet Dead an 8.5. But our aggregate for Doctor Who is 4.63 across these episodes.
Oh my
That
goodness.
is not good. It's less than 5.
Yeah,
But I've got a good feeling that it's going to jump up past 5 after this next episode. So
If
stay
it doesn't,
tuned.
will you be sad?
Extremely, because I know I'm giving it a good rank. So,
no, you're. I. When you give it a 10.
Hey,
You just gotta start giving super high ratings. To
no
boost it.
spoilers, Bryce. So anyway, next week's episode of Doctor Who is called Dalek, and next week's episode of Game of Thrones is called Wolf and the Lion. So our episode title is going to be a play on the Chronicles of Narnia. We're Lion, the Wolf, and the Dalek.
Fair enough.
Because when life presents an opportunity like that, you don't pass it up.
You look at life in the face and tell him, Okay.
Okay, Debbie.
That was really bad. Oh man.
Nothing
Okay,
but the highest quality content from this podcast.
we need to wrap this up. So, William, it's been lovely having you again.
Thanks for having me as a guest.
Wait, what?
Thanks for having me as a guest.
Okay, I thought you. I'm sorry. Based on your inflection, I really thought there was something more, and it you stopped there.
That's just how I speak.
I'm sorry. Oh man. Well, we should end this now.
All right.
So we'll be back with the Lion, the Wolf, and the Dalek at some point. So till then, see you guys. Lid.